Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our today's online class. I am Dr. Sharmin Rahman, Associate Professor, Department of Anatomy, Adin Women's Medical College, Mogbazar, Dhaka. Today's our topic is joints of the foot. So let's start. There are different types of joints in the foot. First of all, the tarsal joint. Tarsal joint includes subtalar joint, talocalcaneonavicular joint, calcaneocuboid joint, cuneo-navicular joint, and cuboido-navicular joint. And there are also intercuneiform and cuneo-cuboid joints which includes in the tarsal joint. Other than tarsal joints, there are tarsometatarsal and intermetatarsal joints, metatarsophalangeal and interphalangeal joints also present. First of all, subtalar joint. The subtalar joint is the posterior joint between the talus and calcaneum. It articulates between the inferior surface of the body of the talus and the facet of the middle of the upper surface of calcaneum. The articular surfaces are covered by hyaline cartilage. This is the subtalar joint which includes the inferior surface of the talus and superior surface of the calcaneum. And this is plain variety of synovial joint. The capsule encloses the joint and is attached to the margins of the articular areas of the two bones. Ligaments are medial and lateral talocalcaneal ligament which strengthen the capsule, and there are also interosseous talocalcaneous ligament is strong and is the main bond of union between the two bones. Synovial membrane. The synovial membrane lines the capsule, and in this joint takes major role in the movement of inversion and eversion. Now, talocalcaneonavicular joint. The talocalcaneonavicular joint is the anterior joint between the talus and the calcaneum and also involves the navicular bone. Here is talocalcaneonavicular joints occurs, which includes the talus, calcaneum and this navicular bone. The articulation in between the rounded head of the talus, the upper surface of the sustentaculum tali of calcaneum and the posterior concave surface of the navicular bone. The articular surfaces are covered by hyaline cartilage, and this is restricted ball and socket type of synovial joint. Capsule. The capsule incompletely encloses the joint and the synovial membrane lines the capsule. Here gliding and rotatory movement occurs. Now, calcaneocuboid joint. Articulation in between the anterior end of the calcaneum and the posterior surface of the cuboid bone. Here this calcaneocuboid joint formed where between the cuboid bone and the calcaneum bone. The articular surfaces are covered by hyaline cartilage, and this is saddle type of synovial joint, and the capsule encloses the joint. Now movements in the subtalar, talocalcaneonavicular and calcaneocuboid joints. The talocalcaneonavicular and the calcaneocuboid joints are together referred to as mid-tarsal or transverse tarsal joints. The important movement of inversion and eversion of the foot takes place on this transverse tarsal joint and the subtalar joint. Inversion is the movement of the foot so that the sole faces medially, and eversion is the opposite movement of the foot so that the sole faces in lateral direction. When the sole of the foot faces medially, this is known as inversion, and when the sole of the foot faces laterally, this is known as eversion. In this figure, we can see this is inversion and this is eversion. Inversion is performed by tibialis anterior, the extensor hallucis longus, the medial tendons of extensor digitorum longus, and the tibialis posterior assist in this movement. Eversion is performed by peroneus longus, peroneus brevis and peroneus tertius, and here the lateral tendons of extensor digitorum longus also assist. Now, cuneo-navicular joint. The cuneo-navicular joint is the articulation between the navicular bone and the three cuneiform bone. This is navicular bone and these are three cuneiform bone, and in between them there is the cuneo-navicular joints formed. It is a synovial joint of gliding variety and the capsule is strengthened by dorsal and plantar ligaments. The joint cavity is continuous with those of the intercuneiform and cuneo-cuboid joints and also with the cuneo-metatarsal and intermetatarsal joints between the bases of the second and third and the third and fourth metatarsal bones. Now, cuboido-navicular joint. The cuboido-navicular joint is usually fibrous joint with the two bones connected by dorsal, plantar and interosseous ligaments. This is cuboidal bone and this is navicular bone, and in between them this cuboido-navicular joints occurs. Now, intercuneiform and cuneo-cuboid joints. The intercuneiform and the cuneo-cuboid joints are the plain variety of synovial joint. Their joint cavities are continuous with that of the cuneo-navicular joint and the bones are connected by dorsal, plantar and interosseous ligaments. Here intercuneiform and here cuneo-cuboid joints are formed. Now, tarsometatarsal and intermetatarsal joints. The tarsometatarsal and intermetatarsal joints are plain variety of synovial joint. The bones are connected by dorsal, plantar and interosseous ligaments. The tarsometatarsal joint of the big toe has a separate joint cavity. Here, tarsometatarsal joints occur in between the tarsal bones and the metatarsal bones, and there is intermetatarsal joints. Now, metatarsophalangeal joint. The metatarsophalangeal joints are ellipsoid type of synovial joint. Here, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, abduction and adduction occurs. And this is biaxial joint, and movement of the abduction and adduction are mentioned with reference to the axis passing through the second toe, because second metatarsal bone is least mobile. Here, metatarsophalangeal joints occur, which are ellipsoid variety of synovial joint, and in these joints dorsiflexion and plantar flexion movements occurs. Now, interphalangeal joints. These are hinge variety of synovial joint and it is uniaxial, and here dorsiflexion and plantar flexion occurs. These are interphalangeal joints where dorsiflexion and plantar flexion occurs. Dorsiflexion means where the toes directed upwards, and plantar flexion means where the toes directed downwards. Hallux valgus, in which lateral deviation of the great toe at the metatarsophalangeal joint is a common condition. Its incidence is greater in women than in the men and is associated with badly fitting shoes. It is often accompanied by the presence of a short first metatarsal bone. Once the deformity is established, it is progressively worsened by the pull of the flexor hallucis longus and extensor hallucis longus muscles. Later, osteoarthritic changes occur in the metatarsophalangeal joint, which then becomes stiff and very much painful, and this condition is known as hallux rigidus. So, that's all for today. Thanks for watching my video. Assalamu alaikum.